Hello friends, welcome once again to my next video tutorial on Java for beginners. In this video, we are going to discuss about what is method overriding in Java and how it is different from method overloading. So first, let's talk about method overriding. If we are declaring a method again in subclass which is already present in parent class is known as method overriding. A subclass method overrides a superclass method if it has the same return data type, same name and same parameter types as a superclass method have. Okay, or in other words, when such type of method is applied to a subclass, the overriding method is executed. Original method will not execute. Okay, now let's try to understand exactly what these statements means with the help of simple example. So here we have defined a superclass which we call it as a bank class, and it is having one method called getInterestRate which returns the rate of interest of the bank. Okay, and then we can define a subclass which we call it as a SBI class, some bank name which extends from our base class bank class. And let's say for now this class does not have any method or implementation, it is a blank. Okay, and now we will go to main class, and here I have created the instance, or I can say object of a class SBI using the reference of a bank class which is our superclass. And to know the interest rate, I will write system.println method and I will call getInterestRate method using superclass reference. Then what happens when we run the program? It returns 0, right? Because here in the superclass it has the method getInterestRate which returns 0, and here in subclass there is no implementation to get the interest rate. So whenever we define a reference which points to the object of the subclass, and when we call this getInterestRate method, it refers to this method which is present in superclass, right? Please note that till now I have not used overridden concept. Okay, now let's introduce a method which has the same name and the same return type and same number of arguments as in base class. Okay, so here I have overridden the same method getInterestRate method in my SBI subclass. The only difference in both the methods is subclass method is returning 9 and superclass method was returning 0 value, right? Okay, and if we run the program, the output is 9, it returns 9. So this process, same return type, same name and argument but different implementation, is called method overriding. Means method overriding is nothing but the changing of implementation of a method. So earlier this method which we were using for getting the interest rate was this one from the base class, but as soon as we introduce a new method in a subclass, this overridden method is executed and original method is not executed. And here if we see a superclass reference points to the object of a subclass and it returns 9 because here in the subclass it has the method getInterestRate method from which it returns 9, right? and all this is happening at the runtime. That's why it is returning 9. So this is called method overriding with runtime polymorphism, because our superclass reference is used to refer to the subclass object. Okay, so what is the use of method overriding in Java? Method overriding is used to provide a specific implementation of a method in subclass that is already provided by its superclass. And method overriding is used for runtime polymorphism. Okay, so after this I will tell you we have to follow some rules for method overriding. The rules for method overriding are: method must have same name as in the parent class, method must have same sequence and same number of arguments as in the parent class, method must have same return type as in the parent class. If the superclass method is declared public, then the overriding method in the subclass cannot be either private or protected. If you try to make it private inside your subclass, then that is not valid. The compiler reports an error because you are trying to interfere with the polymorphism concept. A method declares private and final cannot be overridden as they are local to the classes. A method declared static cannot be overridden but can be redeclared in the subclasses. In this case, the subclass method would act differently and will have nothing to do with same static method of parent class. And the last, constructors cannot be overridden. So this is all about what is method overriding, what is the use of method overriding, and what are the rules to be followed if we are dealing with method overriding. Now if I will do something like this in my SBI class, like I have added one more method, float get interest rate, and parameter is int home loan. So here I have changed the return data type to float, and I have also add one parameter int home loan, but the name of the method is same as previous one. So these two different methods are having same method name but different return data type and arguments, and this will be called as method overloading. This method is overloading of a previous method. Confused in method overloading and method overriding? Okay, I will tell you what is the difference between method overloading and method overriding. Generally, method overloading we are performing in a same class, but method overriding can be done in two different classes, parent class and subclass, right? In method overloading, only method name should be same, but you can change the return type or number of arguments. But in method overriding, method name, return data type as well as number of parameters, all these three things should be same. Polymorphism applies to the overriding, not to the overloading. Overriding is a runtime concept while overloading is a compile time concept. So this is all about method overriding and method overloading. I hope you enjoyed this video and understood the concept of method overriding and method overloading. So please like, share and subscribe this video. Thank you.